Alright, here we go.
Be wary, champions. My vault is many things, but harmless is not one of them. These whelplings perceive anyone not of my blood as a threat.
Okay, this is going well so far. I'm currently in the wall, can't see anything. Hopefully got a flame on a bunch of targets. Haven't even used an Eternity Surge yet, just panicking. Okay. So the gimmick in this room... Oh, I think we failed... Did we fail the gimmick, or what? Oh, I think we just pulled it off the bat. But basically, there's a little guy that has a... Oh, maybe it's coming up. Anyway, you're supposed to, like, dodge the guy that has, like, a detection ring, and if you do that, then you don't, like, spawn more enemies. But I haven't quite seen that here. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is very scrappy right now. I'm fighting with the camera more than anything, hilariously. Next pull, please. Get me out of here. Alright, so it's basically these whelplings, right? So, okay, that's not great. If he gets the... Yeah, okay. Did I have a way to stop that? Maybe. Unclear. Okay, this always kills groups right now, so I'm expecting to just die when this happens. This, like, splintering shards thing that... Yeah. Okay. Well, if anything... if anything is consistent, it's that shards thing just kills everybody. Yeah. Friends with me to tank away, yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, boy. Well, hey, everyone's got a... It's everyone's first time in the Azure Vault once, and, well, seems like it's everybody's first time today. So this might be a long run. How are you guys doing today? By the way, I'm not exactly looking at, actually, what time is it? Yeah, we're probably not getting anything else tonight, but let me know if there is, like, a blue post or something on literally anything. I'm always excited to stop what I'm doing and pull up the new blue post. I don't think there's going to be anything else today, though. I saw Reels hanging out in Rogueland, and that's always fun. Not too bad. Not too bad. I've honestly just been having a lot of fun just streaming, playing Evoker. I've been posting some of my stream VODs to YouTube, just getting back in the habit of that. So, it's been good. Nope. Okay, I didn't quite like that too much. Just that the way that those guys got spread out, I didn't exactly get a good frontal to be able to cast Eternity Surge the way I wanted to, but that's okay. Worked out alright. Yeah, this room. These little volatile saplings.
My beloved Malagos gifted me with arcane seeds. I planted them here. A little garden from him.
Little garden. Oh, I am stunned. Whoopsie. Okay. Do I need to range him, or do you just need to stun him, or is that just inevitable? That's my current question with that one. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, alright, so... Yeah, question is, will they address the range for preservation? I think they will address it. I think there has been a lot of community conversation about it to the point where they will say words about it. I don't know if it's going to be the words that people want to hear. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, you know what, let's just try it for a tier, let's see what happens. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe you find that you actually like it. Should be pretty disappointing on the whole, I'll be honest with you. But I could definitely see that being the case. But I mean, if we're just talking about will they address it, as in like, will there be a post? Will they say something about it? Yeah, probably. I think that's entirely likely. Can we talk about the, the hunter, by the way, doing literally twice as much damage as me? like, what the hell? This isn't fair. Asked Growl earlier, and he thinks they probably won't change it before launch. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. I think, like, the sad thing is, right, is that if they have enough motivation, let's say, right, if they're motivated enough to make changes, CC whelps, don't let them cast. Well, we don't have to. You can just dodge. We dodge them.
And make use of this powerful ley line. While a marvel to behold, I am unsure of what effects it will have on your mortal form. Do be on the lookout for the growth of extra advantages.
Okay. We did it. I just had to style in the group and then help them succeed, apparently. Yeah, so let's go back to preservation. So I sort of think they're running out of time across the board to make big design changes to things. And it's just disappointing because there are a lot of specs that sort of deserve better, is sort of where I would come at it from. I think there's been enough sort of feedback about the preservation's range from players who have played it, mind you, right? It's not just, you know, hey, I think this will be a problem. It's, hey, yeah, it's definitely a problem. Like, there's no question about it. It's a problem. And I think that's important, and they should really, like, they should respect that, ultimately. I hate that. What was I supposed to do about that? Was it a frontal? It was a frontal at all of us. God damn it. I swear to God, if my YouTube channel takes off, it's going to be, you know, hey, did you watch that guy who just is always dead in heroic dungeons for some reason? Yeah, he's just always dead in heroic dungeons. It's crazy. But yeah, long story short, if they do right by what currently exists of an evoker community, so to speak, oh gosh. Then I would definitely like to see a post basically saying, like, hey, you know, yeah, we've definitely heard your feedback about, you know, the range on preservation and then something, right? And what would be, you know, ideal, like, there have been a ton of different things suggested, obviously, from, hey, you know, cancel the experiment, make it a 40-hour class, to, hey, give it some sort of, you know, like, you know, rule of law treatment, or I think that's what that thing's called for Paladin, but basically where you can, like, sometimes cast at 40 yards. You could always tie it to hover if you really wanted to. You can have it be that the empowers only work at 25 yards and everything else works at 40, and I don't necessarily think that that's, you know, that preservation players will consider that to be a good compromise, but that's, you know, a compromise that they might take. Or they just do nothing, right? But I think at the end of the day, they'll want to say something. I think there's been enough feedback about it to go like, hey, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play this thing on launch if if it goes that way. And, you know, for them to release a class, put this much effort into it, and then, you know, ultimately have people not play the healer spec, that'd be pretty disappointing, I think. It'd be disappointing, but also just because, like, the DPS spec isn't necessarily either bringing, like, too much craziness to a raid. Like, from a utility standpoint, you know, might be nice to have an evoker, technically. But I definitely don't consider Blessing of the Bronze to be a mandatory take. Like, you're definitely never going to be like, oh, hey, I don't have an evoker. They cancel Raid Night. You know what I mean? I would like to see someone say something about it, though, for sure. The thing is that they, and there's an aspect of this that I can admire, and there's an aspect of it that I think is hilariously foolish. Blizzard can be very stubborn when it comes to what they believe to be, the fantasy behind class design. And there's a lot of evidence of this, sort of, you know, through time. One of them is obviously, you know, that priests sort of, like, must have notoriously bad mobility, you know. And honestly, I don't even think that's a meme. I'm pretty sure that's just true at this point. You know, when they went, hey, yeah, you can have two 40% movement speed buffs that don't stack, and you can have them at the same time. It's like, great. Thanks. It's great. Stuff like that, right? So, and I think there are other examples. If I had to guess, you know, they'll talk about Paladin basically being like, yeah, we don't want Paladin to have, like, you know, crazy movement, crazy gap closers, but what we do want is for them to have this, like, one iconic movement ability, and then mostly be immune to crowd control as being the main way that they deal with mobility issues, right? Which, again, that's well and good in, like, a PvP context, but from a PvE standpoint, that's not really going to help you kill the boss if the boss isn't slowing you, right? So, they can be very stubborn when it comes to class identity, and especially class identity in mostly just PvP situations, I find. So when it comes to something like Evoker, they very clearly, and you know what, I actually, I owe it to myself to go back and rewatch the reveal content for Dragonflight, because I'm positive what they would have done is they would have said something to the effect of, like, hey, you have this new class called Evoker, and it's meant to be a, like, mid-range caster. And what that means is that it casts at 25 yards. And what that tells me is that they're dead set on that. That's the identity of the class. And I don't know what you can do to fix that, if that's the case. If they go, we believe that the class is this, and they're not willing to necessarily budge, I don't know what to say, other than just, like, people probably aren't going to play the thing in Raid. Oh god, oh god. Picnic! Picnic! Yeah, so I'll have to pull it up. I'm curious. Do you want Willard or Word Slinger? I'll go with either. But let me see. I don't think some having 40 or 25 is a good compromise. It'll be clunky. I kind of agree with that. I don't know how preservation really flows. I will say Devastation, you could get away with that. Especially when you play the spec in such a way that you just have the two empower abilities on a 30-second cooldown, both. You can absolutely make the spec where you just go in to cast your two 25-yard abilities and then you go back out. Like, absolutely, you could build the spec that way. We're going to have less than 40 seconds, so I'm just going to pop my coolies now. Oh yeah, and we were saying BM is nuts, right? Yeah, BM is nuts, I would say. I would describe this as nuts right now, what's happening. I also didn't really mean to do that with the hover there. Let's see. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah, word slinger. Oh, sounds good. You're the cringe casual. That's okay. I think there's a lot of people from different walks of Warcraft life, so to speak, in the Evoker Discord, so not a big deal. That's okay. Oh god, yeah, I hate this. I hate this so much. Hitting. Oh god. Oh jeez. Hitting hover off that ledge. you just have to slow fall until you get there. It's the worst. So yeah, Eternity Surge basically empowers to number of targets. It doesn't do more damage if you hold it for longer. If I'm on a single target and I'm charging it to 2, I'm holding it too long. I really only want rank 1 on that one. But look, so Fire Breath, if I charge it the whole way, it puts a big long dot on everything. But when I go and I cast Eternity Surge, I actually just want it to end up right in this red because that's going to hit 2 targets. And that's great. Now there were 3 targets. You know, you could have made an argument, hey Steve, you probably should have charged it to rank 2. Fair enough. I was demonstrating the ability, right? But again, what this thing reads is damages 2, 4, 6, 8 on the 2 on the 4 different ranks. So yeah. And then yeah, so it sucks that it's an issue for one spec and not the other. Yeah, I think it's unlucky that that's the case, because if it was an issue for both, then yeah, it would be a very obvious thing where they just have to go, okay, you know what, we tried, we made a mistake, it's too bad. I'm gonna charge this one to rank 2 because there are 4 targets, by the way, just good stuff. Definitely an opportunity for them to just go, yeah, okay, never mind, we made a mistake, it's over, you know, we're not doing that. Here, Devastation, I think Devastation's going to work at 25 yards. I think there's definitely compromises that they could do if they really wanted to, in, you know, if they wanted to go, hey, we're going to lighten up on the 25-yard thing a little bit because we think it's actually not going to work at all, but we want to do something across both specs. We don't want to have one spec be 25 yards and one be 40. Then, yeah, I mean, I could see them just trying to find a nice little middle ground and then apply that to Devastation too. The thing is I really don't think Devastation necessarily, like, I mean, all I would say is I don't really think it needs it. It'll definitely feel more comfortable with longer range, and it'll feel like more like a traditional caster, and it won't necessarily have any problems around dealing with raid mechanics the same way that it might with the 25 yards. The problem is that oh Jesus, that's not fair. I think the point of this spec is sort of, you know, and I would describe it this way, easy caster spec, but that has to deal with 25 yards. That's kind of how I treat this in my mind, right? Oh god. There we go. Okay. Have I noticed much in the way of actual gameplay decisions? It seems pretty lacking. Yes. There's not very much in terms of actual decisions. Now that might, it depends, right? So we might see some tuning on certain abilities that changes how we make our rotation go, but the bottom line around all of this is, can I hit both? Okay. The one decision I made there was I didn't finish casting my Fire Breath right away because I wanted to hit both targets with it. That's a cool micro decision if you think about it, right? I went, oh crap, and I took the time that I had to reposition my Fire Breath so that it hit both targets. Okay. I think we can lust this one. Are we going to? I'm going to. I'm out of range of the boss right now. Oh no, you have to go in the bubble. Oh no, I forgot about the bubble. Oh jeez. Every time, I always forget about the bubble. No. Okay, I didn't die, it's okay. I always forget about the bubble. Yeah, so not really, right? I'm running the thing that makes Fire Breath's cooldown go lower, so I just have to pay attention to the duration on that thing. Oh, I forgot that we go right into the last boss, so maybe there would have been a good argument for not lusting there, but whatever. You're not my mom. Alright, so we go rank 4 Fire Breath because we always do, Living Flame because we always do, level 1 Eternity Surge because we always do, and then that Living Flame was kind of not the right decision, but maybe casting Disintegrate is a good idea. Now we have to break some crystals. We're going to like single target them down because they're not even remotely in a good position to try and AoE them down. So I'm going to sit here and spam Living Flame until they die. Maybe Disintegrate on one of them. That one's kind of slightly out of range. I'm going to hover when that one's dead to try and get to the far one. Good stuff. I've noticed that my Fire Breath has come off of cooldown. I'm going to try and cast that when I can. I'm actually going to use Cauterizing Flame on myself to remove the curse that makes me move slow. So that's a thing. Max rank Fire Breath. Max rank 1 Eternity Surge on the boss. Then we'll go back to hitting these crystals. I've interrupted my cast of my Disintegrate, which means that I lose that entire cast. I'm going to hover out of the way of that roar. I don't want to be in that. It looks like there's another crystal on the other side. I'm actually going... Okay, I can't Time Spiral. That's on cooldown. I do have another charge of hover now. I have... All of my cooldowns are up, but I'm going to wait a couple seconds because I want to be able to Eternity Surge. Now's a good enough time. So I'm going to set up... I'm going to Fire Breath on the boss here. If I were over there, I'd be doing a lot more damage, but unlucky. We're not. So I'm just going to hit the boss. Look, we have this guy in the group. He's going to take care of those crystals. I'm just going to hit the boss. Good stuff. Nailed it. And that's how you do it.
He knew that wild magic was dangerous, but he meddled with it anyway. By the time we found him,
Leave
he
instance
could
group.
not stop the growth.